Here they are, South Africa's two best-selling bakkies, the facelifted Ford Ranger and the all-new Toyota Hilux, swapping places at the top of the sales charts like Adele and Justin Bieber. They might look very different, but they are similar in so many ways. And so we have come to Klipbokkop, a legendary 4x4 proving ground, to see which one might be the better buy. Right, on the move in the Toyota, and flicking into four-wheel drive really is as easy as turning a knob on. It's like turning your oven temperature up, basically. No more mucking about with the lever. So that's a big change for the Hilux. It's a really comfortable car to be in. It seems to deal with the rough stuff really well. It's maybe a bit softer than the outgoing model, and it works on both tar and out here in the middle of nowhere. So the biggest engine you can get in the Hilux is now a 2.8 litre turbo diesel. Gone is the 3 litre, and it's got 130 kilowatts and 420 newton meters, which is a bit less than the 147 and 470 newton meters offered by the 3.2 litre in the Ranger. But it never feels like you're wanting for power. There's more than enough here for overtaking or for crawling through the jungle, which is kind of what I feel like I'm doing right now. Over to the Toyota's interior now, and as you can see, it is quite different to the Ford. They've gone for a much more classier look. There's a lot of piano black plastics, and the binnacle looks like it's been stolen from a Lexus. But these are all good things. It's very comfortable in here and quite luxurious. Where the Toyota and the Ford both excel is driving positions. It feels like you're sitting in a car, really. And the Toyota has the added benefit of being able to reach and tilt adjust the steering wheel. Now, I think if I'm being picky, I might give the comfort win to the Toyota, but only just. And I'm not too mad about the materials on the seat and a couple of the finishes, but overall, this is definitely the best Hilux interior ever. Now, if you look at the Hilux from the side on, it's got a bit of an odd look to it. It sort of has an overlife, like it's, you know, its top lip is too long. But there's a good reason for that. There's a good reason why the bumper is oddly shaped. It's one, when you're going through water and mud, it deflects it downwards instead of upwards. And two, gives the car much better approach angle. The Ranger has a kind of a big chin, like a Icelandic bodybuilder. You know, those guys you see on the Discovery Channel throwing blocks of ice around, that sort of thing. I'm sure you're interested in the price. Well, interestingly, this new Hilux is actually 3,000 Rand cheaper than the Hilux it replaces. The Ranger remains the more expensive option, with a roughly 20,000 Rand price difference between these two models shown here. The Hilux 2.8 double cab 4x4 Raider Auto will set you back 548,000 Rand, while the Ranger 3.2 double cab 4x4 XLT Auto will cost you 567,000 Rand. Into the Ranger now, and it's also just really comfortable. Both of these cars are very difficult to pick apart when it comes to ride quality and on-road comfort. I think the Ranger has a more solid feel to it. It might just be because it's heavier, it's got a bigger engine up front weighing the nose down, but really there's not much between them. It does have the big 3.2 litre 5-cylinder engine though, which is very popular, very torquey, about 50 more than that's offered in the Hilux, but it is a heavier car, so it does sort of need it. It will tow a great deal too. They reckon 3,500 kilograms actually, for the Ranger. But accessing its power and accessing all its grunt is so easy. You simply turn a knob, put it into 4 low, and it'll basically crawl over anything. Welcome to the interior of the Ford Ranger. Now you'll probably spend quite a lot of time in here, and you'll notice that the facelift has received a host of upgrades. First thing being the Sync 2 system from Ford. That's fully touch activated. And in front of me I only have one analog dial. The other 2 screens are completely digital. They're very customizable and it all looks very modern. It's actually the same as you'll get in the Ford Everest. The whole interior has gone for that modern look, and what I like is there's lots of points to charge and plug in your devices. I've got 2 12-volt ports down here, 2 USB ports and a line in. Overall, it's a very functional, very usable cabin, and the comfort's pretty good too. It's difficult to overestimate how important bakkies are to the South African motorist. And it's so tough. It must be so tough as a manufacturer to try and meet all the needs of the public. Your bakkie has to be a workhorse, has to be a family car, has to be a leisure vehicle, has to look pretty good so you can brag about it to your mates. That's tough. Get all that into one car. And it still has to be able to drive through a riverbed, which I just did. Earlier today we did about a 30k loop of gravel and tar in the Toyota, an Isuzu KB and the VW Amarok, and it's so close between the Toyota and the Ranger for ride comfort. The other 2 are a little far behind in terms of drive quality, but this Ranger and that Hilux, they've really come a long way in making bakkies more comfortable. And I suppose most bakkies will spend most of their time on tarmac, so that's where you need it to be comfortable. And between the Ranger and the Hilux, for me there's just no clear winner. So, can we pick a winner in this extremely tight competition? Well, the Ranger has always excelled at being a leisure vehicle, and that hasn't changed. It's a bit bigger in the back and it's comfy on a wider variety of road surfaces. But the Hilux has made big strides in both of those areas. The interior has come a long, long way. In fact, I think if I had to pick an interior to live with, I would pick the Hilux. But the Ford has a bigger, more powerful engine, and although this new 2.8 offers better fuel economy, it's a real peach of an engine, very refined. You won't miss the 3-litre D4D at all. They both tow about 3,500 kilograms, but we do know of Hilux's legendary reputation for reliability. We know that there are some test mules in the country with over 1 million kilometers on the clock. But all of these differences, all of these wins between the 2 cars are so marginal, it's so close, that we think it comes down to subjective things like brand loyalty and which one you prefer the look of. So which one should you buy? Buy the one you like the most.